Welcome to the Estrada Method, the place where you get to learn how successful people got to where they are today by being ordinary people like you and me.
I'm Andres Estrada, and I'm joined by my co-host, Marco Panduro. We started this podcast because we wanted real conversations with people who were doing something meaningful or who've already built it.
We sit down with builders, operators, and founders to talk about how they think, the mistakes they've made, and the advice they'd give to their younger self.
If you're early in your journey or are looking for better questions to ask, this is the place for you. Welcome our guest, Jacob Firenaks. How you doing, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing well. Are you excited to be here?
I am, and I don't know that I have a whole lot of expectation one way or another. Not really sure what we're going to walk into, which is good.
Yeah.
It's reasonable expectations, low expectations. It sets a really easy bar to get over.
Yeah, interesting. And do you do that do you try to look at things like that for most of the things you do in life?
In general, I find it sounds a little tongue-in-cheek. I find if I set my expectations low enough, I'm never disappointed.
Can't do that, Jacob.
No,
Stop
you gotta
it.
go high, aim high.
So that's tongue-in-cheek. I think that the real answer is I try to walk in with a very conservative outlook on expectations for most everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a hope that it's going to turn out a certain way. And I walk in with an expectation of the minimal amount of the thing, like we're successful.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
the marker is I'm here right now with y'all,
Mm-hmm.
and this is successful because we're in this room. We're starting a conversation, regardless of what happens.
Like the turnout, the outcome, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're successful one way or another. So if we are able to go further, better, it turns out really, really great. Awesome.
Yeah.
If we nosedive, we still had a successful interaction because we made it here.
Interesting. And did you always look at things that way?
I think probably in the last 10 years, more so in the last 10 years, because I think it is beneficial for me to have very conservative expectations of stuff for myself and for people too.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that you find is you can get disappointed a lot when you have expectations of people, situations, events, and it doesn't turn out the way you hoped. That doesn't mean it's a loss. So if I were to tell you, hey, at the end of the month, I'm going to give you $100,000, and at the end of the month, I give you $90,000, you're like, it wasn't really what I was expecting.
Right.
But if I don't tell you anything and I just show up with $90,000 at the end of the month, you're like, oh,
This
this
is
is
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's clear, just strictly an expectation thing. You
Right.
expected a certain thing, it turned out less than what you expected.
Right.
Whereas the other one you had, or maybe I said I was going to give you $10, and then I gave you a lot more.
Right.
So it's an expectation thing, or that's what I try to do.
Yeah.
So,
Is there a certain situation that made you start thinking that way?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of situations that dove into it, but
Work or personal?
personal. So when you're dealing with people, and I think it probably stems from people, is you have relationships, and the way you develop relationships, meaningful, whatever it might be, is you develop trust. And at a certain point, you're going to have expectations of how stuff's going to turn out with people. Like, hey, you expect me to show up here if I said I was going to be here. That's like a baseline one. That's a trust level sort of thing.
Right. Right.
And if I don't even show up, it's an issue. Like, hey, it's a missed expectation. There's a degree of disappointment. So I think at some point, I don't know exactly what it might be, but I tried to have very conservative expectations for people, in that we try to go ahead and find a way to go ahead and get together. Ideally, we're more or less timely. My bad.
Yeah.
And that we have reasonable interactions, but past that, we try really hard not to put anything more on people than we have to, because that's outside of our control. So if I have a very conservative, I guess is the word I'll keep on using, outlook for people, then we hit the marker here. I can control how I react to the stuff. I can't control how you're going to react. But if we hit the baseline of, hey, we're here together, whatever that is, we're good.
Yeah. And is it that, like, your disappointment in people, like maybe at some point people just started letting you down more, or the outcomes you were expecting were no longer the ones you wanted to happen? What was it that, like, made you be like, you know what, I'm going to just still hang out with people, have relationships, but lower the expectation with them?
I think it's an outcome, because you want certain outcomes to happen kid, adult, it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
And you find you're not hitting that outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we think about the stuff we do too, where working out's one, investing is another, any pursuit that you find valuable enough to put your time and energy into, we want to achieve the goal, but the goal isn't really the target, it's the process. So we have to kind of enjoy the whole process of the thing. So like, if I can enjoy doing this thing and everything leading up to it, maybe I'll go ahead and hit the goal. But if I never hit that goal, if the goal is the only marker of whether I'm successful or not on the thing, I don't know if I did it right. Like, I need to kind of enjoy the process. Because if the goal is the only way you're happy, it's conditional happiness. I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I'm 200 pounds of solid muscle. I'll be happy when I have $100 million in net assets. I'll be happy when I'm 6'9" and 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? There's some stuff that's going to be a little bit outside of your control.
Right.
Versus I am happy in the pursuit of the thing I'm going after. I'm happy when I'm training.
As you're doing it, you're happy.
I'm happy enjoying the process, underwriting, problem solving, acquiring assets. I'm happy interacting with people.
Is it the same way traveling too? Like
Traveling?
if you're going to Disneyland?
That is
like
destination driven technically, but I think the marker on that is like I want to enjoy the process of getting there, and I want to enjoy the interactions I'm having with people.
Okay.
So I think it's more of a relational bias. I don't know if you go to Disneyland by yourself. Like maybe there's people who do.
I think
I know
Michael
for
does.
sure there is. I've never been to Disneyland until I was like 3-year-old one time. That doesn't count. Maybe we should go and see how you react.
It'd be interesting. Well, I think it's the whole pursuit too. So if you go by yourself, it's like, hey, yeah, this is the destination I want to go to. But what I'm actually after is to try to find a way to appreciate and enjoy the process of different things on the way there. Maybe it's interactions with people, dining at new establishments. Maybe it's getting comfortable doing stuff on your own, or just a general appreciation, whatever the stuff might be.
Right.
If you go with people, now it's, hey, I want to share something with you, and we plan on going over here. But I would probably submit that you could have a fantastic trip and never make it to the destination you're trying to go to.
But then at that point, it becomes a thing of perspective, because the whole point of the journey was to get to the destination. So someone might never make it, and they're going to be like, this trip was horrible. We didn't even get to where we wanted to go. But then it's a perspective thing, because let's say they still got to learn a lot during, right? So your perspective on it would be that I have to be able to enjoy the process. Like,
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for whenever you embark on a new journey.
I had an event happen probably about 6 weeks ago. So there's a guy I know from my gym, and I'd been meaning to go on a bike ride with him for a while. They were like a mountain bike. There's a few of us who ended up trying that whole thing, and we just kept on. Nothing ever really lined up. And I found out he was sick in December, and they had a whole thing, and he ended up passing away. So I think I had the day off of work. And there was a funeral in like mid-January that I was going to go to.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of introspective, and I've been doing a little bit more woodworking stuff at my house, right? Trying to build this bookcase.
That's cool.
But it's for process. It's to learn the skill set, but it's to relax.
Yeah.
And I had this thing in the back of my head of like, no, I need to get this done so I can get on to the next project and the next project, because this thing's just holding it up. If I don't do this,
I can't do the next
it's a
thing.
problem, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was sitting there, and I'm like, I know I'm going to a funeral later on. I never made time to do this thing over here, but I did enjoy the interactions I had with this individual. This thing that is supposed to be relaxing for me is now stressing me out. And there is absolutely nothing that says I ever have to touch that thing again.
Exactly.
So I can go ahead and stand here and just if I just stand here the entire day and just stare at this thing, it's fine. And so it's trying to take a step back and enjoy the process of doing this thing, learning a skill set, but just trying to be in the moment, be present.
That's the skill set that you're looking to be able to build on.
The primary skill set was learning how to be present, enjoy a process.
I like
the
that.
secondary skill set, the one that I'm technically trying to learn, is the skill of woodworking.
Right. All right. I like that. That's good. That's an interesting perspective.
Using that as like an outlet or the way to learn that skill is you're doing it with woodworking.
I never have to get good at it. Never. I mess around with my guitar most nights too. It's not good. But I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's not every night. And it's something that I use as an outlet to kind of relax. It'll relax my mind.
Right.
So something I struggle with is trying to find a way to calm my mind and be present, which is one of the reasons why I stripped everything out of all my pockets right before we started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you feel too much. Like if the stuff would have been in there.
Oh yeah, and you feel your watch go off because everybody's watch now is about half connected to their phone if it's an whatever, right? You got your cell phone always going off, anything like that.
Right.
And if we can go ahead and sit here, I am giving you my undivided attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like by definition, I don't have anything else drawing my attention aside from this.
Right.
So why do you think that's so important?
I think it's important to develop better relationships with people. And I think it's important from my perspective on it because I'm giving you my undivided attention, but I think it's also important for our relationship because you understand that I'm giving you my undivided attention.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of stuff that happens on a regular basis that draws it, and it diminishes relationships or interactions that would otherwise be more meaningful. If you have a cell phone, so the conversation and the perception of this conversation would change completely if everybody had their cell phones face up or were mid-text this entire time.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be it's not undivided at that point, and now your conversation is not as meaningful. Mm-hmm. But if people are so inconsistent and you can't, like you just maybe can't depend on them, whatever it is, why is it so important to create those meaningful relationships to you right now?
I think for me it's important to... I think it's an effort thing, but I think it's an effort thing on my part. Like, I can't control what you all do. Mm-hmm. I can't control a lot of things in my life, realistically. Mm-hmm. I could get in a car wreck as soon as I leave from here. I'm crippled for life. Mm-hmm. But I can control how I react, and more or less how I choose to spend my time that isn't already obligated to other pursuits. Mm. So I would like to find a way to go ahead and be present. One, it focuses, calms my mind. I think we make better relationships out of it. Mm. But it is me attempting to put an effort into the relationship because it's something that I value doing.
Has that always been something? I remember in the Paramount office we were talking, and it was one of the top things that you said was to learn how to build relationships with people that are actually either deeper connections, more meaningful, closer. That's not always... when I met you, that is not what you were talking about. Like, that wasn't the main focus or a focus that I remember. Why did it change now? Why is this more important to you now?
I think there's a few reasons. It's always something that's kind of in the back of my mind. So I've always had interactions with people. I am fairly easygoing. I'm fairly outgoing for the most part. Mm-hmm. So talking with people and being approachable has never really been too much of an issue.
Okay.
I think that I'm fairly approachable in most cases to most people. I don't know that I look unapproachable. I think in most cases, maybe the beard now just because it's getting longer and scragglier, but as a general, I think people will feel comfortable interacting with me. Uh-huh. Posture, whatever the other stuff might be. But I become more aware of people more recently, last 5 years for sure, and more aware of the impact of people and relationships probably in the last couple. Maybe it's because of the group that I run, that whole thing, and so you become more conscious of interactions with people. Because the reason people show up is there's some sort of benefit. Mm-hmm. The benefit doesn't have to be, I'm going to give you money, or I'm going to do whatever the thing is.
Right.
A lot of the time the benefit for people, in the same way that when we talk about dealing with sellers, you're trying to solve a problem for somebody else.
Right.
But the way that you get there and you start developing trust is you listen. They feel heard. Mm-hmm. I think that you can accomplish a lot more and develop more meaningful relationships with people just by listening, kind of hearing the stuff, and figuring out how best to try to help them. Mm-hmm. And I think the more that we focus on trying to help out other people, the better, at least for me, my existence tends to be. I know it's a tangent.
No, that's good. No, I like it. And it's me... It's very interesting that now it's like you're focusing on that. Like you said, it's always been in the back of your mind, but it wasn't something you would give too much energy to. And maybe it's as your career is expanding, as you're growing, like you're realizing like, hey, what I like there is that maybe, to be better humans, you need to listen and know what other people need in their life so you can help them solve their problems, because maybe your perspective will help solve someone else's problem because they haven't gone through something like that, but you have. And you can only figure that out by listening. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, people, our audience here might think you're like like a therapist or something. So I want you to tell them a little bit about what you do. You can choose to tell them from the day you were born or the day you got into business, the day you graduated, whatever you want. What would you want them to know so they can get a good idea of who Jacob is?
I'll give a real quick rundown.
Let's do it.
Grew up Wyoming, moved around a little bit after I figured out I had a mom because we were having hiccups and whatnot. So was around her and the Hispanic side of my family from there. And then ended up moving back to knock out high school. From there, I didn't really want to get stuck in my hometown. I was going to college, but I wasn't quite at the mark to have a full-ride scholarship. It was close. And so I decided to go military. And I figured I could do something in the military, something a little bit more, I would say, combat-oriented.
Yeah.
And something that I could throw myself into and kind of test myself a little bit, body, whatever else it might be.
Yeah.
Joined the military, got out of the military in 16. Took a government contracting job, which I still do today, and started a bar.
You started a bar?
What was the name?
Bar 915.
Bar 915.
Oh, so, so that was here. By that, high school you were here in El Paso? In high school you were here in El Paso?
No. I was in elementary school in Wyoming. I did middle school in Houston, Texas, Shreveport, Louisiana, and New Haven, Connecticut.
All of those middle school?
Yeah, so like
Dang.
it was like a half year in Houston, a half year in Louisiana, and then 2 years in New Haven. And then I moved back to Wyoming with my dad again there for high school, basically.
And then that's when you joined the military?
Yep.
Okay. And then the bar, when did that come in?
2016, when I got out of the military. So I had a buddy talk me into starting a bar, and I decided to run. I was supposed to go to Florida with some buddies, right?
Yeah.
Because we were all getting out of the military. They already had.
Yeah.
And I started a bar here, and I ended up staying and taking that contracting job and did that for a little while and was trying to figure out the real estate investing thing because when I was about a year before I had gotten out, I was in UAE, United Arab Emirates, for about a year.
Oh, really?
As a PCS.
Yeah.
And so they staked me to a cell phone, a current F-150, and a liquor license in a foreign country where I have family. And it was a PCS, a permanent change of station for me, not a deployment when it was a deployment for everybody else. So I capitalized on it.
Yeah. That's good.
But I met a guy there his dad did real estate investing, and it sounded interesting. And I started listening to podcasts, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Audible while I was gaming.
Yeah. While you were gaming?
Yeah.
What'd
just
you play?
like in the background.
Yeah.
Fallout was a big one.
Fallout.
What is the other one?
More single
Dark
player?
Souls.
Yeah, more single player games.
Yeah, Dark Souls was a big one.
Yeah.
No
Call of Duty?
When I was younger. Like anything that had a problem solving component. So like Fallout was a big one, Skyrim when I was younger there too.
Those
and
are
Dark
hard.
Souls, that was one that I leaned into hard.
The most.
Those are hard.
Yeah, I've never played them.
These are hard.
So did you watch the show Fallout?
I have.
Does it resemble the game?
It is completely different. But I think they tried to make some sort of a storyline out of it. And I think they did a good job with the whole thing there.
Yeah.
But I think the game is more like an open world sort of thing.
Right, that's what I always thought.
You're like, oh, I'm the main character, post-apocalyptic, and my journey varies no matter what you do, right?
Right.
But I was doing that when I listened to Audible and podcasts, Bigger Pockets, all the other stuff, and I wanted to learn about the real estate thing. So I was learning about that in the bar, and I was telling anybody who would listen that I wanted to learn about it, and I wanted to learn wholesaling. And the reason I wanted to learn wholesaling was because I figured that was how I could find deals that were good, and I could sell off the rest, or find deals that I wanted anyway.
Right.
And yeah, found a guy eventually and sat down with him. We agreed to terms for mentorship, and well, that was that.
Did you meet that guy at the bar?
No, so the way that worked is I had a bar, and I had a patron there who I think liked a couple of my bartenders, and we started talking, and he was placing signs for a guy. And so I went to sit down with him, and he was starting a mentorship thing with some people. And he asked me where we wanted to meet. And yeah, the way that happened is I thought that you needed to have beer, plural, quite a few, in quick succession. I was 25 is when I'd started that bar, right?
Okay.
So, and I picked Tilted Kilt. I don't know if you know what a tilted kilt is.
I do not.
It sounds familiar.
So think like Twin Peaks meets like Ojos Locos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
slightly classier than lingerie night at Ojos Locos, but not by much.
Okay.
Not a lot to the imagination, right?
Yeah.
Like you got a pretty good idea what you're walking into.
Yeah.
And I brought my ex-business partner with me there, and we sat down, and I got tall boy and started drinking there, and we're having a conversation, and every other word out of that ex-business partner's mouth was a verbalized comma.
Okay.
It was every other word was fuck. Yeah. And so like you can string a pretty good sentence together using just one or two words, and he proved it. And what I didn't know about the guy I was sitting down with is he was fairly religious. He didn't drink, didn't smoke, had a teenage daughter, and he didn't swear.
Okay.
And
Except for the comma.
no. The guy I was sitting with about mentorship.
Oh.
The other one, he was
He was just.
we were
blown
on the
away.
same page sort of thing. Like I was a little bit more cautious and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're over here for first impressions. And like, oh yeah, and we can work. I'd love to learn from you, man. Here, have a beer. Yeah, you don't drink? Fuck. Oh, you don't swear? Oh, oops. Well, yeah, this is nice area. Like, look at that cute. So you just kind of nosedive. Anyway. But we agreed to terms, and I paid him some money for mentorship, and then I didn't call him for like 3-4 months because I got busy. I ended up buying out that business partner, so I was managing that bar on my own.
Yeah.
And working that job full time.
Yeah.
I ended up selling that bar later on to a patron who was interested. He had some gas stations and a convenience store, and he was looking for another business. I think he kind of knew I was struggling. I was.
Yeah.
And
What was the struggle?
I just never managed any sort of an operation like that before.
Yeah.
And I think that I put a lot of faith in the wrong people. But by that, I mean it was my decision to do it, so I should have structured stuff different.
Sure.
Yeah, and so I ended up agreeing to a price, selling it to him, and got out, and then I made a phone call over to that individual and started mentorship.
And then you did real estate and then the full-time job.
Yep.
Gotcha. And that was how long ago?
That would have been... I started the bar in 16, sold it in 16, and started that mentorship with him in probably late 16, early 17. And probably late 17, early 18 is when we ended up doing some marketing, and I started working with him as a partnership, more or less.
Yeah.
And later on, and then stuff kind of progressed from there, and I've ended up partnering or get bought out with some other people.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And the way he started me, he was like, all right, I want to learn how to do this thing. He
Yeah.
goes, all right, I'll show you how. Oh, how? He goes, all right, you're going to go on public records. I go, what? He goes, yeah, go on public records. Click on there. I'm like, all right, what do we see? I'm like, a whole bunch of 1 through 131 records.
Right.
He goes, these are pre-foreclosures. So, all right, pull up that document. I'm like, all right, it doesn't have an address. All right, we'll go to this one over here and figure out how to pull that information. So I started learning how to build up the pre-foreclosure list. Once I had that in my hot little hand,
Yeah.
I go, all right, what do we do now? He goes, all right, we're going to go door knocking. And so he went with me, I think, twice,
Okay.
like a Saturday for a couple hours, and we went door knocking.
How was that? Your first experience?
Oh, it's lovely.
What was your first knock that actually opened? What was that like?
That one was a woman who I think was a realtor, and she was kind of getting the stuff already sorted, so it wasn't a particularly sad situation, anything like that. But he goes, yeah, have you addressed the issues with your mortgage company?
Yeah.
And we did that, and then after that, he just turned me loose. He goes, all right, well, call me if you get somebody who wants to bite, because he'd done it, and you probably get it now, too. It's like, hey, once you kind of have the skill set,
Yeah.
if you are helping somebody else or training somebody else, they're like, hey, like, I'll go for a little bit till you're comfortable, but I have other stuff I'm gonna be doing.
Right.
So like, call me when you have somebody who's doing this. I don't need to be with you with all 20 door knocks on my Saturday because I got other stuff I'd like to do.
Right. Exactly.
The reason I'm training you is so that you can do it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And then you can move on to the next stage, which then you learn, oh, we have a lead.
Yeah.
And then you learn negotiation. Then you're like, oh, we can't help.
Yeah.
I guess we go on to the next one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I think we can help on. So that's how I learned.
Yeah.
And later on, I managed our marketing campaign with that thing, and then I'd set up our appointments, our follow-ups, and then I'd go with him to learn how to negotiate, and then I learned how to negotiate, and then I learned how to go ahead and do the wholesaling thing. So I kind of learned from the ground up on how to do this whole wholesaling from marketing to disposition and closing.
At that point, were you guys buying the deals, or it was only wholesale?
For him, it was only wholesale.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
for the majority of the other people in the group, it was wholesale, but yet a couple flippers. So I ended up being one of them, and I picked up my first rental in the Northeast off of another guy there who was door knocking.
Nice.
And that was interesting. Right? First deals are always interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. What'd you learn? What's your number one lesson from that first deal?
There's a lot.
Most valuable.
Like you had
Give it time.
be patient. type of
Yeah,
thing?
plan long term.
Okay.
Make sure that you don't have anything that has to happen right away. In that, I talk about this a lot now. You've probably heard me talk about this, but it's a risk mitigation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, how do we make sure that we can grow for sure? It's like, well, we make sure that we don't have stuff there that's going to prevent us from growing for sure.
Okay.
What could those be? Could be a catastrophic event, maybe an act of God, right?
Mhm.
Well, that'd be a thing, but that's probably fairly unlikely. You know what isn't unlikely? Is if we pick up a property and we're flipping it, and we have zero plan on what to do with this thing if it doesn't sell. We have zero plan on how we're going to get our funding to go ahead and fix this thing. And we have zero plan if this thing passes a deadline when this thing needs to be closed out and do some sort of a refinance.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if that's worst case, hey, we have no plan on what to do if this thing doesn't sell. We figured our value was too high.
Mm-hmm.
It cost us more in repairs, or we didn't even budget for repairs. And there's a loan balloon here that's on a compressed timeline that only makes sense for flipping.
Right.
How do we address it? Well, maybe we get a longer term on our loan. Maybe
Right.
we plan out our funds a little bit better.
Right.
Maybe we walk in expecting that we're going to find other stuff there that we didn't anticipate, or we've planned for a full rehab, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And we walk in with an expectation that this thing may turn into a rental, and we have a plan for it.
So having the plan, that's how you mitigate the risk. So basically, like a exit strategy: A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the idea of an idiot with a plan can beat a genius without one every time.
Right. Right.
I like that. I haven't heard of that one,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I forget where I heard that, but it's one of those like, hey, like if you walk in like, I'm the best there ever was, and somebody goes, I think you're full of shit,
Yeah.
and they call your bluff, and they had a pretty good plan, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Walk through the door, somebody trips him walking in, and he just wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
He's done.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
Okay.
Interesting. So then what happened? So the bar. Dun, dun, dun. So at what point did you? How long did it take you to get that first rental?
Started the bar in March 2016, so about 10 years ago. Same time I started the contracting job.
Okay.
Actually, we probably just passed about the 10-year mark. I was
You don't
looking
have a
for my
watch?
I know, right? We're just used to checking everything on it. I was looking for the date. I think I started that bar, March 3rd, 2016. So it's 10 years, a little over 10 years now.
Yeah. Damn. That's cool.
So from then, I sold that thing. I think I signed the paperwork on my birthday. So in October of 16.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, too, I was drowning a little bit. We went through a change of company. Kind of like what I'm doing right now, but a little bit different. So I got paid out like 2 weeks paid vacation. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I got a paycheck on it.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, I was short payroll, almost to the penny how much money I got paid out for that 2 weeks PTO.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, I probably need to get out of this. I ain't very good at this. Well, it's either like I get out of this and I stick with something else that I have a little bit better aptitude for, or I stick with this until I get good at it.
Until you get good at it.
Okay.
Both make sense. But
Right.
for me, I wanted to dive into the real estate thing. So sold that in October.
Yeah.
Started working with the other individual there November. Bought my first house in November. Did a rate refinance in December on it for my personal residence.
Mm.
And then picked up my first rental, I think it was April of
2017.
2017.
That's pretty
Pre-foreclosure.
fast. Yeah.
Catch-up payments, sub-2, then did a cash-out refinance within like a month.
Yeah.
On a hard money loan too, so like it wasn't like, oh, we're cash flowing. It's like I negatively cash flowed on that thing for like 4 or 5 years before it finally made sense.
Really?
Yep.
Oh shoot.
Wow.
Now your mentor here, were they aware of the deal?
Yeah, they were involved in the thing. The issue was, I didn't think I was bankable And I don't know if I was or wasn't. And so that's a problem. Because it means I didn't really look into it. I'm like, no, it's good. 10% interest is fine. And 10's not bad now.
Right.
But I could have got 5 probably at that time.
If you would have been bankable.
5, 6. And I think it probably was, but I didn't really look into it.
Yeah.
And I should have. So that was a planning thing. I'm like, no, I'll just keep this thing for a little while and it's going to make sense. And so it's like the equivalent of just ignoring all of your problems. You know, if I ignore my problems, they just go away, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's 100% how that works. So yeah, anyway, it was an issue, but it was a fundamental flaw in the way that I was approaching my investing because I was brand new at the thing. There wasn't an exit strategy to the thing. The plan on that thing worked out pretty good initially. So pre-foreclosure, caught up payments, kicked the old woman out, fixed it up.
You don't have to say old woman. You don't have to say old woman. You know, he was just some bad guy, make you look good.
No. But she wasn't that old.
She was no woman.
She was really nice, actually.
Yeah, she was a sweetheart. And I just,
Never mind, Jacob.
And I replaced the roof, and I fixed up the house, and then I asked her if she wanted to rent.
Oh, okay.
And she'd been there like 30 years, and she goes, yeah, I'd do that. So we agreed, and she became a tenant.
Okay.
And I had her the entire time I owned that thing, and when I sold that thing, she was still a tenant. And I tried to sell it to her and her daughter like 3 or 4 times. So, and every time I'd go and pick up rent, she was like a surrogate grandmother or a surrogate mother, whatever it might be. So I'd sit down for like 45 minutes to an hour. She's talking about all this stuff.
Yeah.
Asking me how my life is.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever was able to raise rent on her. So that's a management thing and a failure point for me. So I realized it was the thing. I ended up hiring a property manager towards the end because I knew market rate was higher. And I ducked and dodged that conversation. I go, hey, rent's at least 10% higher on this thing. Because I was paying for water and electric. Because when I started renting to her, she had an issue with those 2 things, and it was going to cost her some money. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. So
You'll
like
cover
5 years later, I'm still paying for it, haven't bumped rent,
Yeah.
and I'm negatively cash flowing on this thing at
Right.
cost without repairs, management, anything else.
Wow.
Like $150 to $200 a month.
Right. For 5 years.
Yeah, and so I talked with the manager. I go, hey, if you can raise the rent and get her to just pay her own utilities, like you just paid for yourself, and now I don't have to deal with this thing.
Yeah.
And so it went from like rent of $1160 per month, including water and electric. Later on, it went to $1160 without water and electric. Then it went to $1300, and then it went to $1600.
Damn.
Wow.
And at the point where it went to $1160, I did a cash out refinance again at $100,000. I picked it up for like $75. It was at the time it was worth like $120, $130, and cash out refinance payment drops to $750 because it's a 4% rate. So
Nice.
rent's $1160, and then it goes $1300, and then it goes $1600. And I tried to sell it at $13. I go, hey, they say, would you still rent to us if we did $1600? And the daughter was moving in to help out the mom. I go, yeah, I'll keep it.
You
So
ended up
I
keeping
rented to him for another year.
Yeah.
And a year later, I sold it after that, which would have been 2024, end of 2024.
Oh, 2024. Wow.
Why'd you hold on to it for so long? If it was negative for so long.
I didn't want to put her out. A lot of what it was.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be worth it in the end, and when I picked it up, it didn't look like a great deal. But I figured maybe this thing would have a karmic effect to some extent.
Karmic?
Like
Karma.
karma.
Oh, karma.
Goodwill. Hey, I did a good thing, and it doesn't seem like it's panning out at all.
Yeah.
But maybe it will.
Maybe it won't.
Maybe you will. Yeah, maybe you won't.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, values went up,
Yeah.
and I still had it, and it was cash flowing well, and I still had it. So when I sold it, I picked it up initially for $75, including reinstating, which was like $8,500. And then I did a cash out refinance because my balance at that point was probably $80. And after closing costs, I got like $15,000 back, owed a
Nice.
balance of $100, and then I was making double payments paying the thing down, which on accident.
Yeah. Oh, it was an accident.
Yeah, that was an accident. 4% interest. I'm leaving that thing as long as I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I ended up selling it for $198,000. 8 in concessions, and I think when I looked at that thing over the life of that investment, I made about $120,000. I averaged $14,000 a year for every year I owned it, and I averaged it out.
There you
It's
go.
pretty good.
And I had zero cash, but it was negatively cash flowing for a long time, and then I probably made up the difference on that cash flow way, probably in the first couple years after I got it performing right.
Yeah.
But that was that, and it looked like a not great deal, and then I made not great decisions re-renting to the same tenant I just kicked out, who was in pre-foreclosure, who clearly has a history of not paying stuff.
Right.
But there was some, I get why, it made sense why. And it looked like an okay-ish deal about 3 years in, better deal year 4, but still not cash flowing. Year 5, I look smart. Year 6, I look real smart. Year 7, I look real smart.
Yeah.
And it's more of a rising tide raises all ships rather than I'm really smart.
Right.
So, and that was something I became aware of during COVID.
Yeah.
Later, or prior to that actually is what it was, is are you lucky or are you good? And it's important to realize which one you are.
You can be a little bit of both.
You are, but do you know which one you are? And the question on that is, are we smart because we made $100,000 on this deal here that everybody said was awful? Or did we get lucky because the market changed and we managed to time this thing right and we didn't know it? Did we invest and purchase this stuff on solid fundamentals? If we were to do this thing again with the knowledge we have now for however long we've been doing this thing, would we make the same exact decisions or would we do it differently?
Right. And then were we lucky? Because let's say we were to say, no, I wouldn't do it again. Like you looking back at that first rental, would you do it again?
I would. I would have done it a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I would with her.
Yeah.
But,
which is interesting because she was the owner, the one getting foreclosed on.
Yeah.
And you gave her a chance.
Yep.
So then in the end, there was good karma.
Yeah. Well, and I picked up another one with a partner there on Olympic. And, man, the tenants were all right. There wasn't much of an issue. I figured an inherited tenant, well, hell, it worked once before. Maybe it'll work again. Immediately had to evict.
Why is that?
Yeah, just there was an issue on security deposit, and they were not, I don't think, great tenants on the whole thing.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was just they were kind of gunning for a way to go ahead and get that security deposit back and try to find a way to go ahead and, I think, get a repressed rental rate. It wasn't real clear on exactly what it was because I didn't have all the information on the thing.
Yeah.
But requalifying them and then agreeing to re-rent to them would have been the right call rather than just being like, oh, yeah, we're good, month to month already. Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, it didn't cost me that much. It was a little bit of a learning thing. It didn't amount to a whole lot.
That's good. Because you recognized it early on that they not good tenants.
Well, it was just apparent. So,
Yeah.
they just didn't pay. So there were signs, right?
Yeah, but still, getting foreclosed on, you're in pre-foreclosure, you'd be like, yeah. And then you said there was a reason to it. Like, you understood why?
Yeah, so with her thing, so Ernie Banks was the first one. The second one was Olympic. Olympic was just regular tenants. It wasn't an owner.
Okay.
It was purchased, inherited tenants, and it didn't really surprise me on the thing. But, on the first one, though, she was in pre-foreclosure, but she'd been taking care of her mom.
Okay.
And her mom had an incident where it broke some stuff in the house, so they'd just redone a few things in their kitchen. It was nice. And what had happened is the mom got sick, and they stopped making payments. The woman there had initially got the house because she went through a divorce with an ex-husband, military.
Yeah.
And she was basically living off of his retirement, I think, because she was allotted X amount.
Yeah.
And it was on a 10% interest loan that she was on because she didn't qualify for a regular home loan.
Okay.
But
She
she
went hard money.
Yeah. And so she'd been that way for a few years. But if anything happened with her income, any variability, she wasn't going to afford it.
Right.
And that's what happened. She got behind, and then, one thing kind of leads to another, and it snowballs. I don't know if I would do that same exact thing with somebody again in that situation, because I already had her out. I didn't need to bring her back. I was afraid of not finding a tenant. But I know that it worked, but I think I got lucky. Actually, I know I got lucky with it. Because if you were to talk to anybody else about that sort of a situation, you'll hear if they've done it, it's a similar thing. If it worked, They're like, oh yeah, it worked.
But it wasn't skill.
Pause,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But and then you got a lot of other ones who are like, nah, you get a
Burned.
spot there where it can get into a very murky situation because you're reletting to the people you just bought the house from and they used to be a
Yeah.
homeowner.
Exactly.
And so there could be a perception that you were trying to sell the house back to them, and
Yeah.
maybe that was the agreement.
Yeah.
And now if anything goes sideways and you have to, I don't know, kick them out or anything else, you could have a little bit more of a difficulty with a legal battle because it seems odd.
Right. And they could fight like, well, I thought you were selling it back to me. I thought I was still making payments or something.
Well, and I've heard of people doing
yeah,
that too.
of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like I've never witnessed anything like that, but you hear the tale. Oh yeah, no, we said you run across it with the sellers
Mm-hmm.
or the tenants of the sellers.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
So, I would suggest not to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you I wouldn't do it again, but I would tell other people to be very cautious and probably consider not doing that
Yeah.
Mm.
because I think it is more sound advice in the same way that you might take excessive risks on some stuff, but you wouldn't tell somebody who you cared about a little bit more
Yeah.
to do the same thing.
Mhm.
Right. Exactly. And then we started with all this because of risk mitigation.
Mm-hmm.
So like if there's a way for you to lower risk by, you could just do a background check on them. You could rerun credit. You can do all that, mitigate a little bit, or just start with a new tenant, which is interesting. You said you were scared you wouldn't be able to find a tenant.
Yeah.
Was
my first
the-
rental.
You know,
Mm.
which is, but it's like, was vacancy really high then?
No, it was
Yeah.
supposed. Well, I picked that thing up to do it as a flip, and then I figured out the values on the thing. If I were to go to sell it, I wasn't really going to make much for what I was into,
Yeah.
and so I decided to keep it as rental. Like that was offered to quite a few other people in our group. Nobody'd touch it.
Why didn't your mentor tell you like, hey, don't flip this one? Like, there's not enough meat on the bone.
I mean, it was on the line. He goes, you can. He goes, you'd be doing probably a good deed.
Mm. Oh, so he did let you know, like, hey,
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, you're not gonna get rich,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
So
that's
do you-
exactly right. And I'm like,
Interesting.
well, yeah, I need to do this anyway. I'll dive in.
I want to do my first deal, and so that's the deal you did.
Do you think that deal added to the philosophy of enjoying the journey instead of the destination?
Later, in hindsight.
In
Not
hindsight,
during the
yes.
moment.
During
Damn
it was
sure
like, this
year
sucks.
3, I'm like, this is stupid.
What am I
Like, why
doing?
are we doing this? Like, I pay $200. Is it 200?
I pay you 200
I
so
pay
that you
her
live in
to
my
live in
house.
my
$200 a
house.
month to fix her problems in
Right.
the house that used to be hers that I own.
Right. That you don't
Um,
even get to use the water that you're paying for in there.
Yeah, you sit there. I'm like, I don't know if this is really smart.
Is this what investing is?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, but you did your first deal. Had you not done that, maybe your first deal would have been way down the line.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have learned specific lessons like that
It-
help you now.
The fundamentals weren't horrific on it. So, subject to loan balance like 68, reinstatement is like 75. It was like 8,500 ish with
Mhm.
attorney fees, everything else.
Yeah.
So,
And what was it worth as is?
as is, I said 120, 130, but I think when I ran the numbers conservative, it was like 110, 115.
An ARV 140? No.
Yeah, like 120, 130.
Oh shit.
Mm.
Like,
But you're in 60. But you're only in for the reinstatement fee, right?
yeah, reinstatement,
That's
and it
your
needed
all-in.
a roof, so I
Yeah.
replaced the roof. But I worked an insurance claim on it, so
Yeah.
I worked that and cash. But I made money on the roof,
Nice.
and then I used that to clean up some stuff inside and do some painting and some carpet that we immediately stained. Like
Yeah.
we stained it like the day we put it in. But yeah, so I was probably all in. And then I did a cash out refinance, which didn't amount to anything on it. I don't know why. Oh, I wanted it under my name. I didn't want it as a subject to
Yeah.
on a hard money loan.
Right.
So I basically just did a refinance, so it was deeded, so the loan was underneath my LLC.
Mm. And at that point now you qualified for a normal DSCR type of loan.
No, it stayed like that for like the next 4 years.
Oh.
Like I bought it in April. I did a rate refinance underneath a hard money loan in like August, like
Mhm.
4 months later, and
Yeah.
it just was underneath my name. I didn't really get any money back on it. I just changed who the
Changed
loan
it.
was underneath,
Yeah.
but the rate was the same.
Yeah.
So, and then I had that like that for like the next 4 years, 4 or
And-
5 years.
And then sold, or then another refi? Because you
Then
did cash
another
out.
refi
And then
later
you cashed
on.
out. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because he said that he sold in 2024. You didn't sell in the frenzy of 21, 22. Could you have gotten more for
No.
that deal? No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, and the other thing is I was at a 4% rate. I'm like, Dad, do I want to sell this? And
Well,
I
yeah,
was
you're
looking at
negative
selling-
cash flow.
Well, no, at that point it was cash flowing after
okay.
the cash out refinance later on.
Gotcha.
Because my payment was like $750 and my
Yeah.
rent was $1,600.
Right. Now,
I'm
now
like,
it's cash
oh,
flowing. Nice.
now
Yeah.
we can
I'm
sit.
happy. Yeah.
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 But I wanted to use the capital, and so I sold it. And when I sold it, I bought a few more deals.
Nice.
Savannah,
Yeah. Oh,
Harrison,
nice. Really? With
Warwick.
That fun? All three from us, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you
there
bought
was
those.
another one there too. I forget. But
You bought no worries. You bought those deals from us. I want to know where in the process you met Estrada.
I think we met at, there was an event. I think I ran across you there. It was early in the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
think
want
it
to hear
was-
from your
Yeah,
side
from
before
his side.
I think
Because
it
you're
was-
good at remembering.
It's
I
because
think it
he
one
was
of Chad's events, I
Jake was
think.
very special. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I think it was one of Chad's events. I think early on in the year, and I ran across you. It was you, and I think there was one other person there too. But I ran across you. I
Diego?
think at one
Mhm.
of those.
It was Diego.
Same
Diego?
story as Miguel,
Yeah.
Yeah. Same time, same day.
Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
So it was then,
wow.
and then we started talking a little bit later on. There is what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I had my group up. Yeah, I was already running my group. I'd
Yeah.
had it for a couple years, 2, 3.
Maybe you invited me to that.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was Chad's event. What do you remember from that interaction that you and I had?
I just remember you being not old enough to drink. No, it was a relevant thing. I'm like,
What is he doing?
everybody's getting into this young.
Yeah.
Well, because like when I met Ugo,
Yeah.
I was 26, 27,
Yeah.
I think. And he's 6 years younger than I am, so he could barely drink
He
when I
was
ran
20,
across
21.
him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talking, yeah. We talked outside of Carnitas Querétaro after
Mhm.
I was helping another ex-partner run a group.
Yeah.
So I had one I'd run, and it was, we called it Money for Casa, and later on I was managing the El Paso, Texas Investors Network that later got recoined to the Quicksell group.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was before I got name changed, but I was running that when I met Ugo.
Mm.
I was 6 years older, and so he was just barely enough to drink.
Yeah.
And then when I ran across you, it was what, about 3 years ago, I think?
Maybe yeah, because it was early in the year, like you said. So it was. I think it was early 2022.
4,
No,
Or
2022?
or 23. One of those.
It would have been probably 23.
23, because I had a license by
You
then. Do you
just
remember if I had a
graduated.
realtor?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it would have been 23.
So yeah, so I got my license in June 22. So yeah, it would have been
you're
23.
18, 19.
Yeah, I had just turned 19. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember I'm like, man, starting young, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, because I felt like I woke up at 25. I'm like, I need to do stuff. I don't know what I need to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're like, we can do business stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I dove on that, and so it took a while. I'm like, yeah, this would have been nice earlier. And then I ran across you and Diego and
Yeah.
the whole band
The
later
whole
on.
grinder group. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
everybody's
put
so
me on
social.
there.
It's a party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you look at that, I'm like, yeah, if I would have had the inclination to start earlier, it would have been more beneficial.
Hmm.
Because the earlier you start on this, the more you can learn and the more your potential is.
You think so?
Yes.
Hmm.
So, like, when I mean that just from a time frame standpoint, we all different resources, different people, whatever it is,
Mhm.
inclinations, all that. But if you take two people who have an identical inclination and you got
Mm.
one starting at 19 and one starting at 25, and they're going to live the exact same life,
Mhm.
make the same decisions.
Yeah. One's
The
got
one
a
who starts
6 year
earlier. Yeah.
6 year head start.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like compounding is beautiful too.
Right.
So it's like,
Right.
hey, if you're compounding every 6 years, you doubled them. At some point, you're basically doubling whatever their turnout is.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Just
So-
because of that 1 6 year gap. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're
Mhm.
probably doubling faster than that, depending on what we're doing for this type of a business.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Right.
if it's a 6-year time frame, that means you are at the end of their time frame at the same age point. If you did an assessment on it,
Mhm.
you would be at double what they would be.
Yeah. Interesting.
That actually goes into one of my questions that I have here.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've been seeing, the younger generation, as you just said, like going to real estate, us being some of them. How do you feel about like more of this young generation going into real estate? You see more like 18-year-olds going into wholesaling, possibly flipping. How do you feel about that?
Burn them at the stake.
You got to get them young. Stop them young.
Stop 'em
witch.
young.
It's a witch. Salem, huh? I think it's a good thing. In the same way, though, like if you look at any sort of a skill set, any sort of a pursuit people are going to do, asterisks. But as a general rule, the younger you start at that thing, the better you're going to be able to get at it over time.
Mm-hmm.
The only marker on that is just try not to do it to the point where you burn out and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get started younger, you have more time to learn, and you got people doing stuff that's interesting. I think it's a good thing, though I also think that people dive into it with false expectations.
Oh, so yeah.
Who gave them those false expectations?
I think if you look at media, anything like that, I think it's really easy to get this idea that this is going to be the easiest way to go ahead and develop money and you're going to get rich overnight. And that you're going to get the social capital that people crave, meaning in your life from this one thing there.
Right.
And it's just going to fix any possible issue you could have with your life by doing this one thing like this. And I don't think that's accurate.
Right. It's not. No, not at all.
No, not at all.
Well, everyone who's actually doing it, specifically, you could say real estate, but even business, it's like, it's not as glamorous as what the media shows it to be.
No, I don't put enough time into this as I probably should to get bigger faster, clearly. Because if I did, I'd get bigger faster, right?
Right.
But I like to spread my time on other stuff that I like to do, my pursuits. So, like, I got a day job that I work. I like doing jiu-jitsu, did that this morning.
Yeah.
I like doing CrossFit, did that this morning.
Damn.
I like doing my meetup. I'm doing that later on this evening.
Later tonight, yeah.
We're here. This is something that I like doing that isn't directly tied to deal analysis or anything else like that.
Yeah.
I'm allotting my time to other stuff.
And see, one of my questions was that, because I've always wondered, me thinking that Jacob was a full-time real estate investor, I'm like, Jacob, you can leave your job, or you can leave your job already and go full-time so you can go bigger. But now you're saying, like, no, it's on purpose that you're still at the job, that you allot time to other things. What is it that keeps you from going full on real estate?
You know, I almost had an accidental opportunity to do that within like the last couple of days.
Really?
Yeah, we're going through a transition from one company to another, and there's long story short, they're downsizing the amount of personnel they're keeping.
For your day job?
Yes.
Okay.
And I made the cut. There are a few who didn't. I'll tell you the practical, and I'll tell you the less practical one. The practical one is it allows me to qualify for loans consistently. It gives me stability in my life. And it is fairly easy, and I can work around more or less that job or appointments, anything else around the time I have to do with that job. It's fairly flexible,
right?
Relatively speaking. So like the hours vary, but the workload is sustainable, and it allows me to do stuff at time frames that other people like. I wouldn't be able to do this normally. I have time.
Right, on a Friday at noon.
Yeah, there's PTO, but I was doing that anyways. I'm like, I got time to do this.
Right.
And some days are slow. So that works.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard to go ahead and maintain most of the time. The other one's a little bit rougher, and that one is I am concerned that I would struggle to maintain this lifestyle that I have right now and the comfort that I have found if I were to do it full time. And I think it would be better, and I would probably end up growing faster, but I would rather do it at a pace to where if I wanted to walk away from this thing and have very little adjustment in my lifestyle that I could.
Yeah, you could.
And so I'm working a little bit more to that end anyway, because then you eliminate a lot of other risk in your life. Talk about risk again, right?
Yeah.
So like if we find a way to go ahead and basically drop our personal expenses as low as we can,
right?
Either by keeping our expenses low or by paying stuff off so that it is no longer an expense, i.e. pay off a house, or you're living, I don't know, in somebody's attic without them knowing about the thing.
Sounds like you've done that.
No, I have thought about it. So I had an incident in 2019 where I'd gotten through a couple partnerships. I partnered with a contractor, and
Yeah.
it cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the money I didn't have to lose. So I wasn't like I had like 100,000 or something like that, and like we spent it, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
It was like I didn't have 100,000, we spent it, and now I owe 100,000. Secured on properties.
Yeah.
And it put me in a bad spot, and I had a buddy, and his girl was going to be moving in. That's why we moved this side of town. I just sold my other house.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out what to do. And I was thinking about living in my car. I have my dog.
Mm.
I need to get dog food. I need to get food.
Yeah.
And I had a gym membership. I just started at this CrossFit gym just a little bit before. And I'm like, I just maintain that because it gives me some degree of sanity.
Right.
But they also have a shower.
Mm.
So if I got to live out of my car, I at least got a place to shower.
Yeah.
I got a place where I can probably park and it's not going to be too hot. Like, try to, and my mom had moved back to El Paso
Oh wow. Okay.
to try to help take care of my abuelita, or that was the whole idea anyway.
Yeah.
And she just moved back, and she goes, and I wasn't telling nobody what was going on
Yeah.
about this, right?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, yeah, you're moving out from there. It kind of sounds like stuff might be getting rough. Why don't you come live with us? I'm like, shit. I'm like, all right. So Pitbull and I show up, and she's like, where are we going? I'm like, I don't really know what we're in for, but we're going. So we moved in there, and this little, it was a converted pantry, so it was like a little windowless.
Wait.
Not horrific, but
Yeah.
like it was like you definitely kind of got the idea of like what this thing used to be.
Yeah. A pantry.
Yeah,
Like a literal
so
pantry.
they had a pantry, right? And
Yeah.
they converted it into a bedroom. So they pulled that thing out for basically a hallway. There was a little closet,
What?
but they'd sealed up all the windows, so it was just
Oh.
like this. And it wasn't bad, but it was a place to live. And there's a whole bunch of Chihuahuas that didn't really like my pit bull.
Your pit bull.
And she's like, "Hey, they're barking at me." I'm like, I know, baby girl. You'll be okay. Come here. And yeah, and so I moved in there.
Yeah.
And I think I started journaling when I was there, and I'm like, today wasn't awful, right? Like, because
Today
down
wasn't
out, like, you got projects going on. Like, I think
Yeah.
at that point I had probably like
Wow.
$17,000 in expenses, including flips, anything else that I was maintaining.
Yeah.
And my total income of anything that I had, capped, including rents, capped out at 10.
Yeah.
So I was
Oh.
negative between $5,000-$7,000 in a month, not counting money I needed to put into projects. So I decided to get more projects,
Mm.
and I worked the hell out of the draw schedules. And so I'd run and finish up part of a draw schedule here to go ahead and pull heavy amounts out of that draw schedule to dump into another project to hit another draw schedule, to pull that and hit another draw schedule to have enough money to pay the mortgages-ish, and then I'd do it again.
That sounds crazy.
It was not my favorite thing.
It's not. You're not supposed to do that, Jacob.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
it can get really bad. Like
I know,
at the
robbing
very end.
Peter, pay Paul.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
knew?
No, you do
right?
not do that.
I think at the time I ran the number, and I don't know if that's right. I have said I was leveraged 50-1.
Damn.
I don't know that that's inaccurate. I'm confident I was leveraged at least 20-1.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for every dollar I had in, I had 20 in debt. For every million I had out, I had 50,000 in. Best case. Worst case is every million I had out, I had 20,000 of my own money in it, and I
Yeah.
think that's closer.
Yeah.
Mm.
On hard money loans, on stuff that wasn't rented, it was flips.
Yeah.
And so I managed to get through it, but it was
It's
rough.
hard. Yeah. 100%.
Well, and that worked. I was trying to be a little bit better and do stuff correct and slowly work my way out, and then stuff compounded a little bit.
Yeah.
And I got out of it in 2021. And that's when I ended up buying my commercial boating. That was like the final thing. Everything was paid off, and I managed to have like almost to the dollar, right?
This. Yeah.
I had a distribution from a flip that I did on second. That was the last one that we did. Man, it was for like $70,000. Call it $70,400.
Mm-hmm.
And the closing costs on my commercial boating were $70,200. And one hit on a Monday, and the wire had to go out to close on like a Thursday.
Oh shoot.
So like, boom. Oh my God,
I have
everything's paid
money.
off, and there it goes. But all the debts
See
are
ya.
done, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Now you have an income producing property.
Yeah. Well, you'd think, and then that thing's been fun.
Oh, shoot.
But was that. And that happened in 19, kind of start of COVID,
Yeah.
right? 2021.
Yeah.
And values on the flips that I had and on stuff I had went up. And I made money. And I looked real smart. I looked really, really smart.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't.
You were lucky.
Yes.
Because COVID, yeah.
COVID did add a
COVID
lot of
comes
luck
in.
too.
Rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah. So you
I was lucky, not good. Some of the stuff there worked and the numbers were all right, but as far as solid fundamentals,
Yeah.
like I basically painted myself into a spot where bankruptcy wasn't a bad option.
Hmm.
And then that happened, and if that plan didn't work out, bankruptcy would have been a much better option at that point than it was even prior.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
That's not good.
No.
So instead, I think it's better to look at stuff with solid fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we come back like, hey, I could have lost everything, and pretty much did, but I still managed to retain a couple things.
Right.
That one rental was, I think, the only rental that managed to survive that. No, that one, and then I have another one on the east side, just off of George Dieter.
Yeah.
But I ended up selling that one to my mom,
Mm.
and
She lives there now.
no, she gave it back.
Oh.
I sold it to her so that I can make money on the thing, and I gave her her closing costs after closing because she didn't have the money, but
Yeah.
she could get an FHA loan, and then she gave it back to me later on, just because. So I manage it now. Technically, I haven't deeded it, but it's mine again.
It's yours. You
Yeah.
collect the cash flows and everything.
Yeah, it's a duplex.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, for George Dieter, it's a good spot.
Yeah, like 2 ones.
Yeah.
But those are the only 2 properties that survived that. So when everything hit, I think I had, not a lot, it was like 12, 13.
Damn.
12, 13 doors or something like that.
That's pretty good.
And just liquidate everything. I'm like, I need out of everything.
Yeah. And then from there, you kept buying, though, after that.
Yeah.
Like, you got back into real estate.
Mhm.
But then you said a word, you were like, I'm not sure. That part of the reason you don't go full into real estate is because of that comfort.
Yeah.
And the comfort is a bad thing if you're looking to grow, because in order to grow, you have to be uncomfortable. You have to put yourself in spots that you haven't been in before,
Mm-hmm.
which means, for example, going all in on real estate. But if your goal is to grow for sure,
Mm-hmm.
then there's a way to do that with the strategy that you have. And
Yeah.
so now that makes more sense to why you're doing everything you're doing without going full on into real estate.
Well, I think the other question is this thing over here preventing me from doing all the stuff that I want to do over here? And maybe, but not really.
Well, it depends on the goals that you've set.
Yeah.
If it's like, hey, I need 30 doors a year, right?
Mhm.
Every year. And now is when you can see, okay, well, this year I only did 25. Is the reason I only did 25 because of this other thing?
Yeah.
Right. That.
Well, and I think the mark would be like, hey, I want to do 30, and I got to 10, and I can tie it directly to this thing over here based on the time or
Right.
appointment allocation.
Right. Right.
So that's all that is. Like, hey, is this taking time and attention? I
Right.
guess.
Mind
Time,
space.
yeah.
Yeah.
Away from this thing over here to the point where it's costing me the thing.
Right.
So my outlook was maintain this thing until it's costing me, and I can transition and do more on this thing over
On this
here.
thing.
And so, like, there's conversations about effort. There's conversations about marketing, a whole bunch of other stuff.
Right. Sales, all that. Yeah.
Most of the stuff that I have, with the exception, I think, of one thing, the majority of the stuff I have is my own resources, though. I'll
Mhm.
partner with people, but it's usually my money and the stuff.
Right. That's good. Which this other thing helps provide
It
to
does.
that.
So if we make mistakes,
Mhm.
which happens sometimes,
Mhm.
I have a buffer.
Right. But then does that mean you would classify yourself as very risk averse? Like-
It sounds that way, doesn't it?
It does. I used to think you were not that way. And now with this conversation, I'm like, maybe you really, really hate risk.
I'm actually fairly aggressive in
Mhm.
a lot of the stuff I go. Like, I'm still going after stuff. I'm under contract on that 14.
Yeah.
I'm under contract on a duplex on a triplex.
Nice. That's so that's 19 doors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's supposed to close like in a March, early April.
Yeah.
Ish. We'll see. Like one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and like I'm at 14 now. So if I do that, I'll more than double my holdings door wise.
Right.
And as far as asset value, the total value on that stuff is more. Like 1.4, 1.5.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the 1.4, 1.5 in assets, probably 900,000 in debt,
Yeah.
plus repair work, which on one of them is going to be stupid.
Crazy.
Which is a 14 unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Jacob. That is why I want you to take a look at Yandao.
I am,
It's
and I have
emotional.
other information that I have chosen not to tell you
Oh.
until I figure out if I got that thing for sure or not, because I know we were on the same thing first. There's
Yeah.
information you're missing about that specific thing.
Yeah. Is it the
Um,
thing about the pedos?
No, not those.
No.
Okay, no,
No.
you can tell me later. But the main
Yeah.
thing is with that one, I just know it needs a lot of repairs.
Oh yeah, it 100% does. And on that one, you're not wrong, because for context, for anybody looking at this thing, he has a 7-unit right now that he sent to me with a specific price, and we were kind of having a text conversation back and forth on the merits of this thing. It has all utilities are paid by the owner, so but it doesn't look horrific. And there's a 14 unit there that is priced just a little bit below, I think we said what, 47 per door is what you were ballpark at, and on the 14 it's like 44 a door, and that thing is a wreck.
Yeah, but it is bigger and separate meters.
Yes, it is. And so
Separate
there's
meters,
redeeming
yeah.
qualities on that. But you're not wrong, but there's other information on it. So, and on that one, the biggest reason I'm pushing hard on that one is I want a larger multifamily,
Right.
mostly as a proof of concept to know that I can go after additional commercial, not
Right.
just regular apartments, but like something that's about 10, 20, anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I've hit commercial there with my office space.
Right.
I'd like apartments, because once I know how to do this and understand the pathway and some of the sticking points, and I know I'm going to run into it, I don't know what it's going to be, but once I understand that pathway, I can do it again.
Right.
So we got proof of concept. We have a track record. The biggest indication of whether a future behavior is past behavior. Like, all right, I was able to do this, I can probably do this again.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that was my question here actually, is when we work together, Soju Deals is more single family, or I've seen you when you post. We're noticing now you're starting to buy bigger, and you can answer my question is what that was going to be, are you heading in towards the apartment realm? If so, what would be your, I know you said enjoy more of the journey. What would be more of your goal as in the commercial and multifamily?
So it's a slight shift in perspective. So what would be the easiest way to get to 100 doors? Like fastest? Right?
100 unit.
Yeah, exactly. It's not 100 single family houses. So, and the amount of effort you would need to put in to get 100 single family houses
That are good deals,
Yeah.
not just
Good.
whatever.
at margin
Yes.
is more,
Then
I would say, just strictly from like, hey, I got to find them, and now we got to find a way to have conversations and negotiate. We're not
Hundreds-
talking about the additional resources, because there's
Right.
other skill sets and stuff goes into that.
Right.
But strictly on this, in theory, it's probably close to 100 times the effort. There's specifics on it, so these are more difficult. And maybe, you know what, let's give it a factor 10. Like, let's say they're 10 times more difficult to negotiate, to find, all the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's still 10 times easier to find this thing than it is the 100 over here.
Right.
Even if it's 10 times as hard.
Right.
So my outlook was, all right, if I look at this thing and I focus on going bigger, we have more of an economy of scale. And if I make 1 or 2 good decisions per year on investments,
Exactly.
I would do more for my investing than the slew of other decisions that I typically make.
Exactly.
Stuff that doesn't pan out, stuff that goes sideways.
Yeah.
And actually,
Exactly.
margin's good, but
Yeah.
even if the margin's a little bit narrower, I now have an economy of scale for the amount of doors I have on the thing.
Exactly.
I don't really want to pay more. I still want to stick pretty close to the margins where I want to hit, and the margins are kind of the same. It doesn't really matter. Single family, multifamily, commercial, like the numbers, the way we look at them is different, and some of the stuff we factor in is a little bit different.
Yeah.
The apartments in commercial are more intuitive. You're like, oh yeah, I can't physically go ahead and fix everything on this 200 unit.
Right.
Oh, I have to factor in maintenance.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
I probably can't go ahead and manage this whole thing
By
by
myself.
myself.
Right.
Oh, I have to factor in management.
Yeah.
Oh, these things are going to be vacant from time to time. They're not
Yeah.
all going to be occupied.
Right.
And I have to plan for when this stuff goes sideways.
Right.
Hey, there's heavy all the other stuff. Like, it's apparent over here because you know you probably can't pay for it out of your own pocket, and you know there's a whole bunch of stuff moving around.
Right.
So you tend to do a better job of analyzing commercial apartments than you do on single family.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, no, I can pay for that. Like if it's vacant for a couple months, that's
Right.
yeah. So like we don't worry about the vacancy rate. I'll manage it myself. I'll fix everything myself.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and renovate the thing myself so I can save cost on this. So it's just material cost,
Right.
and you can. That doesn't mean you're right on
Right.
your analysis when you do an apples to apples comparison.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So if we are running a better analysis on these bigger things, we're probably already starting to make better decisions because we're properly accounting for the stuff that's going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was
Not
right.
just saying, yeah, it's about there.
Yeah,
It's a roundabout number.
Yeah, that's why there's less competition
Mhm.
at the bigger scales.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, like what do you think? Like, hey, I can find hook or crook, gun to somebody's head,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Most people can probably find a way to come up with $1,000 per month.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where, and we don't got to talk about how, but you can
most
probably
people.
do it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would struggle to come up with 20,000.
Or 10,000 a month. Yeah.
10, 20, 50, whatever the number might be when it gets big. There's a threshold where like there's no way that I can just borrow this stuff from
Every
my
month.
mom
Yeah.
or my dad or my best friend over here who works a day job
Right. Right.
and make ends meet on this thing. Like there's no way.
Yeah.
So hey, that means we have to plan for it.
How is he going to get paid?
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to survive the journey so that we can get to that end point? Which I'm assuming, like for that Fortune unit, it's that you're going to enjoy the cash flows, remodel over time, but then at the end, the goal is to sell at a higher price than what you bought for, if you ever sell.
Yeah, but so maybe that would be a relevant question to dive into the analysis of a project, a super bare bones.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, so what do we want to do? Like, hey, flipping, whatever anybody else is, I'll talk about mine because
Yeah.
everybody has their own stuff and markers. And mine is like 70% of value minus repairs or 70% of current value.
Mm.
And I try to stick pretty hard to that.
Yeah.
And it's 70% on a relatively conservative ARV or a realistic, slightly conservative current value. ARV, sometimes you can get real overhyped real easy.
Right.
So, yeah. And current value you can too, but... yes. Current value you can too, but current value is like, well,
It's
we
today.
know we're not going on the highest end, so it tends to be like...
Right. Closer to the real number.
Yeah, you're like, hey, if it's destroyed, like we're not. It is what it is. But like, if it's functional, if it's like a rental thing,
Yeah.
like the brand new house went for $200 a square foot. The destroyed house went for $100 a square foot. The rental right now went for $150. Like in your rental status, you're like, hey, I know we're between here and here. 150 looks pretty accurate.
Right.
Maybe we back it off and we go 145, and we're probably pretty safe.
Right.
But when you do ARV, it's like, well, like that's not a new build. Like
Right.
new builds went for 200, but man, they renovated this other one over here.
Super nice.
It went for 199, and clearly it's going to go for this whole thing or whatever the number might be.
Right.
But like we're shooting, they were like, no, this one's nicer. It's definitely going for 210.
And then the thing there is that by the time you get yours to be in that ARV shape, stuff changes.
Yeah.
So in those 6 months, it's like, okay, now what's it look like compared to I like that 70% of as is value because that's today.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make
Yeah.
something, it's the decision you can make with a little bit more certainty,
Yeah.
basically.
So we'll walk through a couple right now, and it'll be relevant to one of the ones we're talking about right now too.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, we'll
So,
look at it. I will. Oh, were you going to say something?
No, I was adjusting, and I got a tight hip on my left side. My right hip's
Oh,
good,
he's
my
about to say
left one-
something so wise.
I was trying to do. We were doing 26.2. It was just me at that point because everybody left.
Uh-huh.
I showed up late, but it was like overhead lunges
Okay.
with like 50-pound weight there, and it was just like down. I think it was like 80 feet worth of lunges.
Okay.
And then you do like
A couple
pull-ups.
times.
Yeah, you go down and just have it
Yeah.
overhead.
Yeah.
You can switch hands, but
Yeah.
it's only every 20 feet.
Yeah.
Overhead snatches, and then it was pull-ups, and it was the same thing again. Then it was chest bar pull-ups,
Yeah.
and then it was the same thing again. And it was supposed to be ring muscle-ups. I didn't. I was too slow because I struggle with overhead position based on shoulder stability and core stability. But I
Okay.
also think there's a mobility hiccup.
Mm.
But I noticed that I have tight hip,
Yeah.
I've had a tight hip. So
Yeah.
right now, if you see me adjust and I pick up this leg, it's because that hip is tight.
So what? You gotta go to like the chiropractor or something?
No, I can go ahead and remedy most of this. It's not a. It's just I need to go ahead and stretch it a little bit more and
Gotcha.
work on the mobility component on it more.
He can massage it out for you if you want.
Yeah, our cameraman, he's very good at massages.
Yeah,
Both of
like
you. Remember you met on Grindr.
What like angle?
Whatever angle you want.
Okay. Remember where you guys met, Grindr. So.
Well, there's other ones now too.
Why do you know this?
Well, on our analysis stuff there.
Wait, before we jump onto that.
Yeah. tell me.
The grinder. So I'm just kidding. No, the muscle ups on the rings, that was after the pull ups. Like,
Well, yeah.
you're tired
That's
already.
tough.
That's crazy. Rings, bro. So it's the stability of
Yeah,
getting
those
up.
are
Like,
tough.
Those are hard.
Well, I wanted to get one, and I finally got one today. So
Yeah.
I got one before we started.
That's good. Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
But what it is it's like, so they're doing the CrossFit Open workouts right now.
Right.
So like 26.1 was like basically box step overs and wall balls and just to nauseum, literally to nauseum. That was awful. And you get a score based on repetitions. And anybody who signs up for it, they submit their data, and you get an idea where you fall worldwide for people who do this thing.
Nice.
And there's a few, I don't know how many, it's tens of thousands of people. It might be hundreds of thousands who do this thing. And
Yeah.
based on that data, they get data collection, and they're like, all right, cool. Based on how you performed on these workouts here,
Yeah.
the top 25%, I think it's 25% now, can move on to the next stage.
Which is 26.2.
Not 22, not 26.2. So I think current year and decimal, whatever the workout for that thing is for the open. That's
Gotcha.
how they do that.
Gotcha.
So this is the second one. And so like they were testing out conditioning, right? Overhead, and that's, you have a mobility component and a stability component, right?
Yeah.
Snatches is also something that's a little bit of a technique, but it's mostly a strength conditioning thing.
Yeah.
And then you have, first one's pull-ups. Hey, you need to be able to do pull-ups. Second one is chest-to-bar pull-ups. Hey, you need to be able to do chest-to-bar pull-ups. Third one is muscle-ups. Hey, if you are conditioned and able to do these things enough, now we're going to go ahead and test a more complex skill set that you're going to need if you're going to go further. And so that skill set is going to be the eliminating factor for people who are that conditioned. So now you start to widen that gap.
Interesting. So then you have to work, or you're gonna have to work until you can get through all that, so you can get to the one after the ring muscle ups, for example.
Yeah, and so they posted it today, and you got a week to do it.
And the test is next week?
No, they're the whole thing's they're
Every
testing
day.
it now.
Oh,
So once it's submitted, you have, I believe it's a week to go ahead and complete that thing and submit your video or anything if you're actually trying to participate in the open and anything else. I do it recreationally because I am well aware of where I fall on this thing. But yeah, so it's a skill set thing, and they do that to go ahead and do it. They don't let you know what the workout is prior. You got a week to go ahead and do it.
Right.
And you test different skill sets just to see where your deficiencies are.
Yep.
So like if you struggle with handstand push-ups, if you struggle with double unders, muscle ups, clearly now, it's an issue. If you struggle with your Olympic lifts, say you can't do overhead squat very well, you're struggling with snatches, that's going to be a thing. You start exposing weaknesses, and they're very good at doing it quickly because they have very simple movements that you have to have a degree of technical ability, not much, and conditioning.
Right. Conditioning is the main thing, no?
Well, the conditioning is the main thing until you hit skill.
Right. Right. It'll only get you so far.
Yeah, so like, oh my God, hey, the fastest time you've ever clocked, but you can't do one handstand push-up, and the workout is just handstand push-ups and deadlifts. Like, hey, we finished the deadlifts, and now, well, that's it, we're done. Because we don't have the ability to do this thing because we lack the skill set. So maybe if we're drawing it back to this other stuff, we can think of it almost like a resource. Hey, we can go ahead and look at as many of these things as we want to look at, but if we lack the resource to be able to do this thing, the technical prowess, probably in this specific case, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So think, all right.
Let's get into it.
Yep.
Analysis.
So we'll talk about the 14 unit, and I'll tell you a little bit of the information on it just because.
Yeah.
So what I did is I negotiated seller finance with them,
Okay.
and I think we talked about that.
Yeah. A portion of it is seller financed, right? Okay.
But I negotiated it as a seller second. And that's the only reason why I'm at that particular price.
Right.
Otherwise, that price is very high. It is too high.
Based on the income that it's generating.
Yeah. Well, and based on the repair work too. and based on that area there, on what we might be able to get out of it at a back end cap rate,
Right.
and based on what our market rate rents should be based on the size of those units.
Right.
So we're real optimistic on a lot of things.
Okay.
But the only way that I can go ahead and get to that point is I have to have the skill set and understand how to negotiate owner finance,
Mm-hmm.
down payment, and then understand that I need it as a second lien. And then be able to find lenders who will work with that second lien and be able to put a first lien in place.
But so in this case, then that 125, not only is it the seller finance second lien, but you're going to use it as down payment.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
very cool. Okay.
So but that's a skill set thing. Like
Right.
I'm aware of how to structure this. I've done this
Right.
before.
Right.
So, but if we get there and they're stuck on this thing here, that's as far as we go. We don't get a chance to go on a lower price point if they're stuck on that price point.
Right.
But we have other tools that we can use here.
Right. Interesting. How difficult is it to find that lender? Who will
It's
be okay with
harder. It is harder.
that? Really?
So it's not that hard money. It is harder to find it on your commercial side.
Right.
And so the struggle right now is finding a commercial lender who will let that second lien be in place and finding a way to limit the amount of down payment out of pocket
Right.
and still find a way to go ahead and come up with a repair cost on that thing
Exactly.
because it needs everything.
Yeah. New roof, HVAC, windows, paint.
Maybe not a new roof. Maybe.
Oh, really?
Maybe
No.
not a new roof.
Have you been up there?
Nope.
Not yet.
Oh,
It looks
Okay.
from the ground.
we'll fall through it for you if you need us
Yeah,
to.
I'd rather you not. I'd rather look. One, because I don't want to get you hurt, but the other one is if it works well enough right now,
Leave it.
and we can just not fall through, we can code it for a little while.
What about
Yeah.
insurance?
Insurance, the roof looks okay-ish from the street. I actually
Yeah.
need to send out some stuff to get an updated quote on that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue
Okay.
because their biggest thing is going to be like hazard, natural disaster sort of stuff, I think. We'll see on the whole tenant thing, but I can mitigate that a little bit.
Yeah.
But on that one, like I need to understand what this thing is, understand what the criteria we have over here, understand what resources I have to negotiate this deal,
Right.
and then be able to use this additional tool set here to be able to make it work for my specific skill set and resource allocation.
Right.
So in the same way we were talking about the other thing is like I know about how strong I am, and if I go beyond that, I got to have help.
Right.
Like I got to do it different.
Yeah. But then here, the proof of concept. So you're wanting to see if the fundamentals that you have and the things that you're good at that you've been using over the last couple of years can be applied here. So you can prove, hey, it works. I can do it, and I can do it again.
Yeah.
Is
And now
that
I
what
can
you're
do it
trying to
bigger.
do? Yeah, and then you can go bigger. But then we talked about growth and stuff. Growth isn't necessarily like a huge priority for you right now.
Well, no, but I think what it is the stability is. But if I'm picking up assets that have stability at the onset, we're
Yeah.
good. So historically, I've looked at investing as that's not a fair statement, but I think it's not an inaccurate statement, as an equity game.
Okay.
So like, hey, I bought 70% of value. Guess what? I got 30% equity. Man, we're rich.
Yeah.
And you can prove it on paper. And that's the only place you can prove it.
Right. Not your bank account.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you sit and you negatively cash flow for 7 years. Not 7, it's 4. It's like 4 or 5.
7 years is crazy.
But stability comes more from cash flow, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Positive cash flow.
If I bought something,
Yeah.
market value, if I paid more than market value for it and I couldn't sell it for a lifetime,
Right.
but that thing positively cash flows and I never have to worry about that thing ballooning,
Right.
it's stable.
Exactly. It's an extra $1,000 a month that you can just depend on.
Yeah.
So in my mind, that's what stability is, not so much the equity. Now the equity is a nice I love
Liquid,
equity, but
just in case.
cherry on top. Yeah,
Yeah.
where it's like if shit hits the fan, I bought at 70%, and I have to sell my assets for whatever reason. Good thing is I have 30% equity. Yeah, the market went down, but still, because of that 30%, I still now have 15%. Boom, you're good. So it gives you the peace of mind to sleep well at night.
Well, not just peace of mind, it's fundamentals. It's like I can pay my bills.
Yeah.
Like-
No, but this is the equity part.
Oh yeah, the equity's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the equity, it's always nice. Like, hell, if I could buy something for $1 and it's worth like 10 million, that'd be beautiful, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, all right, so I asked this question a while back, and I don't know that I have a good answer on the thing, or like, but you get the idea
Yeah.
of the structure.
Yeah.
So what if you could buy $100 million building for $1 million, and you know it's worth $100 million, but there's no way that you can sell that thing or rent it for 10 years?
Would I buy it? What would be my
Yeah. Would it be a
Thought
good
process.
idea for you to buy it?
For
And-
10 years, you said you can't rent it or sell
or
it.
sell it for 10 years?
10 years.
Yeah, let's say, and you could easy peasily say,
Yeah, let's say the value is going to go up too. Let's say it's going to increase 50% in 10 years there.
Right.
It's going to be worth 150 million in 10 years.
right.
Make it juicier.
Well, you can say use it as a let's use land as the example, because land, that's how land is. Like, let's
Yeah.
say it's far out there on East Lake, and today it's $1 million, but because it's growing, it'll be worth the 100 million, right?
Yep.
And if not more so. But it doesn't cash flow. It's just land. It's also all the way out there, so you can't sell it for 100 million today.
Mhm.
Would you do it? Yes, but everyone's gonna have their different criteria,
Mhm.
right? In that case, 10 years to make 10 million a year,
Yeah.
basically.
Mhm.
The only reason I like the building one is I know your tax implications are going to be high, so it's going to cost.
Right,
Even
so it's
if you have
gonna
that thing paid
cost.
off, you're still going to have expenses on it.
And so you got to then check, okay, is the 10 million a year greater than the cost of me
Mhm.
having it every year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing on that is, it doesn't make sense for you by yourself. You're like, maybe. I don't know what your position is.
Mhm.
I know for me, it's almost a guarantee if I had to find a way to do that with just the resources I have by myself,
Mhm.
it will bankrupt me. And it will bankrupt me long before I hit that 10-year timeline
If you did it by yourself.
by myself.
There you
So
go.
now the next question is like, how do we do it? So
Right.
now we can talk about partnerships. Now we can talk
Right.
about raising capital. We can talk about doing an equity split or whatever the thing might be, right?
Right.
And now it starts to make sense.
Right.
But you can go broke with good deals.
Yeah. Yes,
So-
you can.
Yeah, the equity thing's nice because we make a lot more long term on this thing, but we need the cash flow.
Yeah.
If we know that we have expenses on a regular basis, that means we got to pay those expenses on a regular basis.
One way or another,
What we
yeah.
pay 'em is that cash flow.
Mhm.
Yep. That's true. Yeah. And I answered yes right away because I'm like, well, yeah, because my initial thought is right away, I'm going to go raise money.
Yeah,
'Cause I need partners on this.
100%.
Or maybe we don't buy it ourselves, but it's such a good deal where you have those big players that you can wholesale it to
Mhm.
for a handsome fee.
Yep.
Because you'll be like, hey, you're about to make like $99 million on this over 10
Mhm.
years. So I want $1 million assignment fee.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or put me in as an equity position, and I'll go ahead and get paid on this thing in 10 years, so you don't get
Yeah.
to put up any more
Anything
money
up
on this
front.
thing.
Yeah, or I'll
Yeah.
make sure it's good, taken care of, or
Yeah.
whatever the cost is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you find a way to go ahead and negotiate on the thing.
Yeah.
But the idea is that like the equity thing is nice, and you'll make good money, really good money on the equity stuff there.
Right.
But I would probably submit that the majority of people who are at about our level, or at least at mine,
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming everybody's at pretty close to the same sort of thing. Anybody I talk with, a little bit higher, a little bit lower, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like within plus or minus 10 million, we're pretty close,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the first one was like, oh my god, that's a big number, and it's like, yeah, it is until you get like 2 or 3, and it's like plus or minus like over or under $1 million in assets,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like $1 million net worth, and after that, it's like the next stage is like 10x.
10.
10.
Yeah.
So anybody in between, like, hey,
You're kind of the same.
We're about the same level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until you reach that 10 to
Mhm.
100.
10 to
Yep.
100, yeah.
And then
Maybe 10 to
100.
50.
10
And then,
to 50, or,
Yeah.
and then 50 to 100.
But the skill set starts to change now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you could get to $1 million with one project. You could get there with one single family house.
Yeah.
Um,
over time, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Or like just one, you could buy
Or
$1
just a
million
$1 million
house.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
like maybe it makes sense. Maybe you're doing all the bedrooms or whatever thing might be.
Yeah.
And maybe it makes sense on cash flow. Maybe it makes sense on equity. Like
Right.
one house could be the thing.
Yeah.
You could do it with one house on 10 million too, but that's harder, and the resource allocation is different on that thing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
maybe that's your game, but now you've found a way to do this thing, but the resources required on this thing are different.
Right.
If the resources are different, and you don't have them, you got to find a way to get them.
Exactly.
Skills get changes.
Therefore, the skill set changes exactly,
Mhm.
and not a lot of people want to have to go through all that.
Mhm.
Maybe it's not that important for them to get to that 10 million, so they don't want to have to go through that skill, that journey of building up that skill, and that's where the decreased competition comes in
Mhm.
too, which makes it easier
Mhm.
that if you do want to get through that higher barrier to entry,
Yep.
once you make it in, it's harder, it takes longer, but once you're in, there's less competition and less new entrants coming in.
And that's the way I look at apartments and just commercial in general.
Right.
So learning a skill set, I know that I can probably do this thing, but I got to figure out how to structure this thing to where I don't bankrupt myself after one.
Right.
And once we have a proof of concept, once we have the skill set, we understand the resources that are going to be needed on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can start looking for those resources because you already have your proof of concept that you've done.
Yeah.
And you can do them in any order realistically there, but we now know what the resource allocation is going to be or at least if we were to do the same one again, I know what it was.
Right.
Like my commercial one, I know what that resource allocation was, and it was a hell of a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And if I wanted that thing to positively cash flow, I would have structured that thing a lot different, and I would have had a lot easier run
Yeah.
because of it.
Does it cash flow positively now?
It does now.
It does now.
This is a recent thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all 4 are rented.
All 4 are rented, but there was a vacancy.
Yep.
For a long time.
And the vacancies happen. The issue is you're on an airport land lease. So taxes are $1,000 per month. Insurance is, call it $300 per month. So what is that? That's $1,300.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Right.
Land lease is $1,600 a month.
Oh, land lease on top of that. So
So
you own the building, but you
But
can't
not
own the land.
Yep, because it's part of the airport.
Yeah.
And I got a long time on it.
Yeah.
But that means it's $2,900 a month if that thing's paid off.
Because you had to finance the purchase, right?
I have loan on that thing too.
Yeah.
That's if that thing's empty. It's
Yeah.
$2,900 a month just to have it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then plus the loan, the
So
debt
that's
service.
that's where your additional risk comes in. And like it makes sense. It's in a good area. You can get good tenants. And if I would go ahead and turn loose of the other tenants I have and rent to one tenant, it would be better. But now I got to find a way to go ahead and be able to weather that storm of the payments till I get a tenant.
So you get a tenant.
Which means I need to have cash flow from somewhere. to do
Right.
it.
Right. What do you mean it would be better if you had a single tenant instead of 4?
So the building is structured, and originally to have one tenant.
One big tenant is just a
Yeah.
bigger space.
Yeah, and it's set as 4 units, which isn't
Yeah.
bad, but it has one centralized bathroom. And so right now everybody's on a gross lease. If I
Yeah.
have one tenant on the thing, I could have them go ahead and pay for all their own utilities.
Right.
And now I'm out. Maybe I could do a triple net or something pretty close to it.
Right.
And that'd be kind of nice on the whole thing because now
Right.
they deal with the taxes, the insurance,
Everything.
land
maintenance,
lease. I own
yeah.
the thing, so the land lease is on mine, but I can
Yeah.
collect for the other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
remember that.
Now did you want to analyze another deal?
Yeah, so we'll go ahead. We'll use yours just for the sake of argument.
Yeah.
So, and super rough cut numbers, but if I know my interest rate is going to be about 7,
Mm-hmm.
that means I should probably be buying at about a 7% cap rate, a conservative 7% cap rate, regardless of what's going on with this thing.
Okay.
So, and I would probably say that's pretty close to market in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's worth $1 million, and the NOI after all expenses, realistic, reasonable, consistent expenses, is $70,000, and I can get my lending at 7%, that's probably pretty close to market value. Probably
Yeah.
pretty fair.
Yeah.
And so in mine, I want to make sure that I have a value add component where I can, ideally, I'm buying with like a 1.5 to a 2 point spread on that cap rate.
Yeah.
So if I can get my money at 7, even if it's a refinance rate,
Right.
I would like to be buying it at like an 8.5 to a 9. Or I can buy at market rate, but I want to be able to force it to an 8.5 or a 9% cap rate.
Interesting.
And so
Yeah.
that's that value add.
Yeah.
And I don't have my phone or anything else on me, right? But if we were to go ahead and math in public,
Yeah.
that's where your value add is. If you do about a 1.5 to a 2 point spread on that thing, I think you're probably going to fall pretty close to about 80% of value or less.
Mm-hmm.
In a perfect world, we'd be buying at like an 8.5 cap, get our money at 7, put enough money down to have it stabilized. It's underperforming, not non-performing,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a value add to maybe increase that thing by another 2 points.
Yeah.
So 8.5, we bump it up to a 10.5 cap rate
Yeah.
after we do our value add component, and we have our lending at 7.
Yeah.
It'll cash flow, and now we can go ahead and sell it too.
Right.
And we're probably all in on that thing after that value add. They're at that 70 or 60% mark, but it's cash flowing, so we don't
Right.
have to sell it.
Right. Right. We can keep it if we want.
And so that's the beauty about when we start looking at apartments or commercial, is we can do the same thing we can with single family houses, but they can perform.
Right. It performs instead.
In theory, like multi-tenant, all the other stuff there, because you can have a single building there, and it's the same thing as regular flipping.
As a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on this one, you at least have a way to go ahead and mitigate some of your risk.
Exactly. Exactly. I have one more question.
Yes.
Well, I guess it's not a question. It's more so when you look at deals right now, then you're looking at them solely on the cap rates, not necessarily on return metrics like IRR, equity multiple, cash on cash.
I still look at those.
But
but the primary one is, can it support itself, or is it reasonable that it can support itself fairly quickly?
Gotcha.
So I'm looking at what's my purchase cap and what's my stabilized value add cap rate.
Yeah.
Right? And that'll give me a good idea of how much money I can make on the thing. My equity multiple. So the approach is picking something up and holding it in perpetuity, comma. Now we start looking at our return on equity. So
Right.
our return on equity is going to be our indication of whether we want to keep it or sell it.
Right.
So once that thing drops past a certain marker, and the marker is probably about 20 years worth of cash flow after all expenses are paid out. So it's going to be a little bit under 5, probably close to like 4 or 5%
Yeah.
return on equity.
Yeah.
Now maybe we should start considering selling it. There might be other factors, and maybe that's why we keep it. Maybe we can't find something else. But return on equity, that's what I'm looking at. Cash on cash. I would like my money to be making money instead of just at a wash.
Right.
That one varies a little bit, but I know if the other markers are in line and it can support itself based on cash flow, we're probably all right.
Yeah.
I would like to have no less than a 6% cash on cash return.
Right.
I'd like more.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think an unfair metric is probably trying to shoot for like an 8 to a 10% cash on cash return.
Right.
6% based on cash flow is probably not a bad marker.
Yeah.
Actual
Based on
cash,
cash
flow
flow,
after
right.
expenses.
Because then at that point you still have the appreciation part on the
Yeah.
back end.
Yeah.
So you'll get on a 10-year timeline, you can get a 20 or 30% rate of return, average rate of return. Your IRR will be a little bit different
Right.
because
Yeah.
it figures out your velocity of money on the whole thing.
Right.
But if I can go ahead and worst case scenario, double my money on a 10-year timeline.
Right.
Best case scenario, pull my money back plus 20%.
Yeah.
Any invested capital and keep the asset at year 3. That's actually what I'm gunning for.
There you go. On year 3.
Yeah, on year 3.
Yeah.
But I'm not running my metrics just on year 3. I want it to be there. I need it to be over here. And it's probably going to land somewhere in here.
In the middle.
And this is conservative metrics, so I might end up being there, but I need it to be here.
Right. Exactly. Okay. And we're going to have to do it again. We're going to have to meet again and we'll talk more.
We'll have you again here.
Yeah. We'll have to go, but this is good. Good
Yeah, I
talk.
like it a lot. Good. Thank you for all the information. I'll go ahead and go.
This was the first like real estate. You're like the first person who's like
Run
has their own
numbers
real estate.
and-
Yeah. Their own real estate experience running your own numbers. So I'm glad next time we'll get more deeper into more analysis stuff. So people can see how it is that you work your numbers the way we work our numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that doesn't mean that I'm right.
Right.
Just so
No,
we're
it's a
clear.
different. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
different
Yeah.
way to look at it. But that's the thing. People sometimes think it's all black and white, but sometimes they need to hear it from someone else the way they, because it'll click a different way. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, you know, and some people I've heard, like the owner of these buildings, he runs it completely different.
Sure.
It's right, but you both have made money, so it's like there's not a right or wrong. Sometimes it's the same fundamentals, but you explain it differently, so then the audience gets it differently. Like they get something different from it.
Well, the other thing that you're running, just a real quick sidebar, is if they're doing stuff like that, my guess is they're probably putting down capital. They probably have a decent amount of capital set into the thing.
Yeah.
So it's a different resource that they have that they can allocate towards it. But because they have a different allocation for resources or different availability of resources,
Yeah.
they have to look at it differently than I do.
That too.
Or differently than
That's
you do.
true.
Then we
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
That's why early on it's all equity because all your people are flippers and you need the equity position.
Right.
And a little bit after that, we're like, maybe we want some of that cash flow.
Right.
And then after you have the cash flow, it's like, hey, can it support itself? And it's going to be worth a lot more later on.
Right. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, the
That-
support. I like that. The cash flow after expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Jacob.
Yeah.
No worries. Happy to help.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and do the outro.
Yeah.
I did want to do my question for the prize, but we'll do that next time.
Sorry.
No.
No, you're good. You're
I
good. This is
really
good,
enjoyed
man.
this
It
conversation.
went by
Yeah,
fast.
went
I
by
thought it was
some-
going to be 3 o'clock.
Like, yeah, 2:45. But alrighty. So I mean, if you guys liked it, go ahead and let us know in the comments. Leave a like, leave a subscribe if you're not subscribed, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. If you want us to interview someone specific, let us know as well, and we'll see you on the next one.